Dynasties Middle East Institute. Great to see you, as always, Mustafa. The truth is difficult to establish here. The Saudis are saying that the UAE is again backing separatist forces in the south, that it's encouraged some tribal forces to attack areas near the Saudi border. The UAE says there were no weapons on those ships. Any equipment there was for local Yemeni forces. Who's right? Who's wrong?
Yeah, I think it's well documented and proved that the UAE was backing that Southern Transitional Council, and it's been known for so long. I think the question here really matters why UAE has been doing that and why Saudis are opposed to that. So I think the logic here is that there has been some peace negotiations between Saudis and Houthis going on for some time, and Saudis were excluding UAE side from that negotiations, and they were about to reach a deal. I think the UAE side was trying to preempt that final deal that Saudis and Houthis were about to reach. And also UAE logic here is the reach to Bab el-Mandeb Strait. You know that UAE is always interested in straits, ports, maritime things, and that actually was worrying a Saudi side because they were about to cut off from Yemenis land, and that was pretty worrying development for Saudis in terms of their security, because just like you said, the things were happening right next to their border. So I think the story was pretty much like that, but I think it will trigger a broader regional implications, like maybe we are not going to see a rigid brand new coalition or alliance, but we are totally going to see new alignment. So loose coalitions, like Saudis are going to Iranian, Turkish, Egyptian side a little bit more. I don't think that rift is going to be turned into a broader conflict or a total war. I think the sides will contain that, and pulling off the troops, the UAE officials, security officials from the ground doesn't mean the end of the story. The rivalry, the silent rivalry, which has been revealed with the latest developments, is going to continue through proxy forces, because UAE hasn't abandoned their proxies. They still have their footprint on the ground. So this will continue, but there should be surely be realignment, and a new regional picture is emerging, that UAE and UAE-Israeli project, I think, because the secessionist movement in the southern part of Yemen, they signaled to Israel that they told that they were ready to join the Abraham Accords. So please recognize us as a different political identity, independent political identity. So it's a UAE-Israeli backed project, but I think it will fail. But even though it will fail on their separatist agenda, it will still has a potential to create instability in the region. So I think we are gonna see an interesting and different developments in the region. For example, since the anti-Houthi bloc fractures, it will strengthen Houthis. Houthis are now gaining leverage in their negotiations with Saudis and other parts. So Iran is silent beneficiary from this situation, because as long as there's a division among Gulf states, it's good news for Iran. So I think a new regional picture is emerging before our eyes.
Okay, so the Saudis and the UAE, they're supposed to be on the same side in Yemen fighting the Houthis, as we've established, and yet their rivalry seems to also be mirrored in another fairly nearby country. What's happening in Sudan, and how are those two countries involved?
Yeah, you know, in Sudan, there has been horrible genocidal actions, heinous acts committed by these rapid support forces. These forces, these armed groups, also were funded and supported by UAE. So I don't think that UAE does care about the unity of Sudan or Somalia or other, countries in the region. But the thing is important for UAE is reaching out these maritime routes.
Yes.
Ports, passages, because they don't care about territorial stuff. They care about maritime stuff. So Bab el-Mandeb Strait, Red Sea, these are important geopolitical positions for UAE. So as long as they have, some regional partners on the ground, they don't care about the heinous actions committed by these partners. They only care about reaching that, areas, these geopolitical important positions. So they have footprint in Sudan, in Somalia, in other parts of the, Horn of Africa. They are supporting, they are funding the separatist elements. They are supporting the armed groups there. And also, it's, in Yemen, the same logic applies. So I think this is more or less the, UAE's policies in the region, mirrored all around the corner in the region. So that is actually the divergence between UAE and other countries like Saudi Arabia or Turkey or Syria. So the separatist agendas are supported by UAE and Israel and their partners on the ground. But these recent developments, I think, it pushes Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, towards the same line, the same position. I'm not saying that it will create a rigid alliance, but it will create an alignment among these actors. So we are going to see an interesting developments. It's not the end of the story that UAE is pulling off its troops from Yemen, because they still have their connections, they still have their armed groups on the ground, and I think there will be negotiations between Saudi Arabia and UAE. The both sides are trying to reach a deal. I don't know the deal, which side will be, I don't know. I'm not sure about the final deal, which side will favor. But there will be some, negotiations, and I think the U.S. now watching closely but silently, and because since the U.S. has close relations with both sides,
very close,
they now refraining from showing the open support for one side, but they are watching closely. And it's an interesting idea. It's a crazy idea maybe, but right before that bombing that Saudi Arabia did in Yemen, Mohammed bin Salman talked with Donald Trump. And here's a crazy idea. Maybe Donald Trump, since he is not very satisfied with his relations with Netanyahu, maybe he showed a green light for Saudi Arabia to bomb Southern Transitional Council forces in Yemen. So it gives a message to UAE, and by giving a message to UAE, this message will surely be conveyed to Israel as well. So I think there is a chessboard here, there's a chess game here, and this chess game is, has potential implications for every side in the region. So it will not be limited with Yemen, as it was not limited with Sudan or Somalia. It will resonate all around the region, because wherever Israel and its plans are present, so we are seeing its implications in the whole region.
Mustafa Jana, thank you so much. Really a very comprehensive analysis. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you very much.